Hi everyone, it's our Friday program, last day of the week. This week just gone past like that. Thank you very much for joining us as we have a quick whip around of all the main Thai news stories, as well as some of the main regional stories as well. And thank you always for all your comments and occasional criticism in our comments section. Good, intelligent comments are always appreciated. We might even get to some of them in tomorrow's live program, which will be starting at 9 a.m. You're all invited, so we hope to see you then with me and Nick. Now, the most important story of the week, this is a follow-up to the follow-up we did yesterday, and I'm sure you're just really hanging out for the latest on this one. And from the Bangkok Post, authorities relent on tourists' school uni craze. Well, they were so worried yesterday that it was going to sort of bring the downfall of the Thai empire, but they seem to have changed their tune. Chinese visitors mean no harm and are actually promoting the country, according to officials. The Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Education says that the visitors did not have any intention to make fun of any educational institutions. I've seen from some of the online posts that they had their own names embroidered on the student shirts. That's cute and beautiful and doesn't do any damage. It also promotes tourism in Thailand. It shows that tourists see the beauty of Thai student uniforms and thus put them on. Yes, the well-known beauty of Thai student uniforms. And yes, I have moved my microphone. Some Chinese tourists had the names of Thai foods embroidered on the Thai student shirts, and that also helped promote Thai foods, he added. So it looks like it's not Chinese spies, as somebody was suggesting yesterday, and as long as it's just Chinese girls buying the school uniforms and taking some photos for their TikTok, I don't see there's any problem. I think there's a problem if 70-year-old men start wearing the Thai schoolgirl uniforms, but that, of course, is another problem on another day. Let's move on to our next story, and this one is from Phuket-go.com. A man was arrested after firing a gun in a Phuket hospital grounds in a row over parking. Now, this ended up quite a serious event. Let's see what happened. And there is a photo there. That's a screenshot of the man firing his gun at a Honda, which was originally in the car space that man ended up in, but it was all the bits and pieces that happened in between that encouraged the man to get out a gun. Let's find out more. Police in Phuket have arrested a man for allegedly firing gunshots in a major hospital car park in a brief dispute with another driver. It's understood the shooting took place on the 5th floor of the parking building at Washira Hospital on Yaowarat Road, the island's largest public hospital, which is between Samkong and Phuket town. Interviewed by police, the man said he was attempting to park his pickup truck but was having difficulty and was therefore slow. The driver of a car waiting behind him began honking the horn and a verbal dispute ensued. And now this update from the PhuketExpress.com. A driver who opened fire at a Phuket hospital has been charged with attempted murder. And Phuket City Police have charged him for attempted murder, carrying a gun in public without permission, firing a firearm in public, and possession of a firearm and ammunition without a permit. And meanwhile, the other car driver, whose name was not given by police, said he honked the horn as he was afraid that the pickup truck might not see the car behind him when the pickup truck was backing into the car park. I think you'll see from the video that's not actually what happened. Here we go. So he's saying, give me a bit more space, I want to get my car in. This is all running in about double time, and the man's girlfriend there helping him park the car. And yes, he did take a few attempts to get his pickup truck in there. Probably, I don't know, if you work out the real time, maybe 30 seconds, and the Honda starts driving off. And the man gets out of the car and starts firing at the car, which is probably not really helping. Oh, I forgot to put the brake on. That is something I think I probably should have done. And he gets into his car. And a good bit of advice now from the Phuket-go.com article says, tooting a horn in Thailand can be taken very seriously by the tootee, regardless of the reasons, by the tooter. So that's pretty good advice, and certainly different in Thailand, where tooting a horn is something that you don't hear that often. Different say, from Vietnam, where tooting horns is just part of the general soundtrack around you. But here in Thailand, don't jump onto your horn too quickly, because some drivers can take that very seriously. Let's move on to our next story now, and this reported in the National News Bureau of Thailand. Thailand and Japan are set to embark on the first phase of a high-speed rail project linking Bangkok and Chiang Mai. Now, we already know about the project that's running from Bangkok to Nakhon Ratchasima, then from Nakhon Ratchasima up to Nong Khai on the border of Laos, which will join the Laos-China high-speed train. That's been delayed but is still going ahead. This is a different project which will travel from Bangkok up to Chiang Mai, and it's in cooperation with a Japanese company instead. There's a whole list of people who are at the meeting in the next paragraph. You can read that if you like. The 688-kilometre rail line, which features 12 stations, will be divided into two phases. The first phase covering 380 kilometres from Bangkok to Phitsanulok, and the second phase from Phitsanulok up to Chiang Mai. And the Railway of Thailand's Director General said that the high-speed rail project is a significant initiative that could provide economic benefits to Thailand, strengthen bilateral relations and pave the way for more successful projects in the future. More than that, it could probably provide a really good way of getting from Bangkok to Chiang Mai and back again. And there's a map there showing the stops that you'll be making on your way between Chiang Mai and Bangkok and back again. And it looks like from those photos it's the Japanese Shinkansen, the bullet train. Been very lucky to have 3 rides on bullet trains over the years. Very clean, very efficient, and of course they're very fast. And between the Japanese and the Chinese, they have really revolutionised their transportation systems with high-speed rail. And other countries haven't seemed to have done so, especially here in Thailand, where despite the trains being a lot slower, they do apparently have their own particular charm. A charm that hasn't rubbed off on me on the journeys I've done on the train so far. But of course, there are so many other ways of getting around Thailand. The roads are very good, and of course, the plane flights are numerous and usually quite cheap. Not quite as cheap as they were at the moment, but I'm sure those prices will start coming down. Big thanks to 5 Star Marine for a first-class private tour out to the islands around Phuket. Now, if you'd like to see some of the places they go and the quality of their staff and their boats, then you can go to the link in the description under this video. Friday's Tim Newton today. I really appreciate you dropping in. If you do get a moment, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I promise I won't send you emails. It's not going to cost you anything, but it really does help the channel. And tomorrow I've got Nick here with me. We'll be doing our live program. Goes for about an hour, and it's an opportunity for us all to have a bit of an open chat about anything that's on your mind. There's no membership, everybody is welcome, and so that's starting at 9 a.m. Thai time. And on Sunday we've got our second episode of Grumpy Old Men, and this week me and Steve tackling a whole lot of really important issues. Maybe not. And we go to the Bangkok Post now. This story saying city groups push for legislation of sex work. Now this of course all centres around it being International Women's Day a few days ago, and so a push was on for some legalisation of sex workers in Thailand. Making sex work legal would ensure those working in the trade would be protected by labour rights, said the groups, which gathered near Government House to mark International Women's Day, and this story being reported in the Bangkok Post. And the groups also called for a doubling of maternity leave to 180 days, period leave for workers when they suffered menstrual pain, and they also sought financial assistance of 3,000 baht a month for each month of pregnancy, safe and free abortion services, and that March the 8th is recognised as a public holiday. Well, certainly a lot to unpack there when it comes to legislation for sex workers. I think there's already quite a lot of work done on that, and a lot of parties would support it. And I think we'll see in the next parliament in Thailand that an act will go up to both legalise and also legislate and register those sex workers, both male and female. Now, a lot of the other demands there are basically in control of the Labor Department, and when it comes to safe and free abortion services, Thailand's always had a fairly liberal approach to that. There has been some tightening, but at the end of the day, it's up to women to decide how they look after their own bodies. Let's go to the next story. And air pollution has made over 1.3 million Thais sick this year. And certainly a lot of people I've been speaking to who live up in central and northern Thailand have been speaking to me, complaining about the irritations to their throat, the fact that they've been keeping themselves indoors, a lot of them buying just in the last couple of weeks air filters, and are horrified when they go to clean those air filters how dirty they are. And more than 1.32 million Thai people have reported sick in 2023 due to PM 2.5 pollution, according to the Disease Control Department. I'm not quite sure what's going on in the second paragraph. It says that a total of 1.3 million patients suffered from air pollution-related diseases during the first 5 days of January. That sort of contradicts the first paragraph. I'm not sure if they're talking about the first 5 days of March or if I don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, 1.32 million people seem to have been complaining about air pollution at some stage this year. And an emergency operations centre was opened for public health in 15 provinces, and we're opening more than 6 in other provinces. Again, that they're trying to solve the problem after it's happened. It's some sort of cure than trying to prevent the situation happening in the first place. Another 36 provinces are also reporting PM 2.5 levels above 31, but for less than 3 days. And this year's PM 2.5 levels are higher than last year's, partly, you'll love this, because there was less travel during the past 2 years due to the pandemic, resulting in less pollution. Aghast. This is almost as silly as an excuse as the Chinese joss sticks causing the problem. If it was people travelling more, then it wouldn't just be the last 2 or 3 weeks that we would have seen these problems. It's the burning off of agricultural waste, not only in Thailand, but in the border areas around Thailand. I mean, I've demonstrated that so clearly for the past week. And I'm not the only person with an iPad in the internet that can go to these free satellite services and see live in real time where the actual fires are. That's the problem. Your problem is making excuses that don't include the real problem. That story in The Nation, and it goes on. And then down the bottom, statistics about respiratory diseases, eye infections, inflammatory dermatitis, and heart and cerebrovascular disease, which I would say are all very serious diseases. So I don't know why they aren't taking more attention about trying to stop what's causing these problems rather than making pathetic excuses. Let's go to our next story now. This is from the Bangkok Post. A visa racket report fingers 107 immigration officers. Police submit 139,000 pages of documents to graft busters on enablers of Chinese nationals. This story's been going on since last October, when they had that first raid in Saton of the gambling den, which was in behind, I think, a car wash centre or something. It has certainly cascaded since then. Investigators from the police station in Khon Kaen played a key role in gathering evidence about the racket, which benefited mainly Chinese business people, but also other foreign nationals. In many cases, documents issued by language schools or volunteer foundations were used to support applications for visa extensions. This story by the Bangkok Post, and we note that a lot of the immigration officers themselves registered language schools and volunteer foundations, so as official documentation, so that they themselves could issue documents and of course get the people applying for the visas to pay for them, in many cases between 200 and 400,000 baht. And Police General Surachat Hakpan, yes, known by the Thai media as Big Joke, will certainly be the head of Thai police in the next 3 or 4 years. Yesterday observed the submission of the final report in dozens of cardboard boxes to the National Anti-Corruption Commission, and the NACC being a sort of a bright light amongst quite a few dark corners of Thai corruption, and I think the NACC will see this story all the way through. The investigation team questioned 446 witnesses, examined documents relating to 107 immigration officers. Investigators have also pressed additional charges against 9 of the officers for accepting money or other benefits unlawfully. Legal action against the officers would help restore faith and confidence in the police. I don't know. Would it? It would certainly go a long way, certainly if they are charged and sentenced appropriately. And among them were 3 generals and a mix of officers of every rank, according to the Commissioner. The approvals were issued to a total of 3,325 Chinese nationals between 2020 and 2022. So that story is ongoing, and certainly it looks like the NACC now taking over those cases, and I'm pretty sure that we'll see some fairly firm results. And now for something completely different, this from coconuts.co. Censors ban a Thai horror film for insulting Buddhism with a mom-hugging child monk. Mom-hugging child monk. Mum-hugging, I suppose, if you're English or Australian. And originally set to hit theatres today, Hoon Paeon was denied approval by the Film Censorship Board due to 5 inappropriate scenes, including one involving a novice monk hugging a woman said to be his mother. They've been told to cut or reshoot the 5 scenes. And physical contact between a monk and a woman is highly taboo. The Association of Thai Film Directors have criticised the decision. The association went further to demand the reform of the film industry to return freedom to filmmakers to freely produce work that audiences can judge for themselves. The old freedom of speech and expression. So here we go. Hoon Paeon is centred around Tam, a teen boy who travels a long way to a temple where his brother is ordained as a monk. Arriving there, Tam hears rumours that his brother has fled after killing an abbot. A series of vicious events later terrorise the village. So I went and had a quick look at the trailer for Hoon Paeon, and indeed there's plenty of slashing going on, plenty of blood, and as the story said, lots of vicious events and terrorising of the villagers. Lots of horror, in other words. It is indeed a horror film. But it's not that gets the attention of the censors, it's the mother hugging the monk that they need deleted. And whilst we're on slightly strange stories, Miss Jumbo Queen pageant participants engage in activities for elephant welfare. Now, I read this story and I really don't know what to say about it. I suppose I'll just read it as it is. An eating contest between a group of 6 jumbo queens and a younger elephant was among the highlights of a press conference yesterday up in Korat, and that of course is in northeastern Thailand, and it's all for Miss Jumbo Queen 2023, and there they are just enjoying a little bit of a feast. Miss Jumbo Queen will be organised for the 6th consecutive year to celebrate the variety in women's beauty and enhance tourism to Nakhon Ratchasima. The competition allows women and ladyboys weighing more than 80 kilograms to demonstrate their potential and abilities. And since the direct translation of the contest name is Miss Daughter of the Elephant, the contestants are also participating in public activities for society, such as assisting elephants suffering from abuse and hard labour and sick elephants across the country. The winner of the pageant will get 300,000 baht. And here we have another photo of some of the contestants with one of the potential recipients of the money raised from the contest. So a competition like that in a lot of countries just wouldn't fly. But I think it's just one of those little cultural nuances that makes Thailand what it is, that they can run a competition like this, celebrating people just being who they are, and probably raising some good money for the elephants as well. I'll let you make up your own mind. And that was reported in the nationthailand.com. I'll see you again tomorrow with Nick for our live program. That starts at 9 a.m. Thai time. We'd love you all to join in. You can make comments about anything we've spoken about. You can criticise us, you can comment, you can ask questions, you can bring up other topics. It's up to you. We do it for about an hour, and that's tomorrow from 9 a.m. and then Grumpy Old Men on Sunday with Steve. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Hope you have a fantastic Friday, and we'll see you later.